Hello, my name is Chrissy Hodges. Welcome to my channel. I talk about all things OCD, in particular pure OCD, which is the name for individuals, the community name for individuals who have intrusive thoughts and mental rituals. It's also the name of my memoir, Pure OCD, The Invisible Side of Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. I am a certified peer support specialist. I work with people all over the world, supporting them wherever they are in recovery, even if that is just learning that you have OCD, typically sometimes over the internet. I also do referral consultations and can connect you with therapists anywhere in the world. NoCD is an app. Inside that app, they have resources. You can connect to other individuals who have OCD, and they also do telehealth, doing ERP. To find out more about them, or if you want to schedule an assessment for ERP, go to treatmyocd.com. So today I wanted to come on. Hello, everyone. Good to be here. I wanted to come on and talk about, and I know that you might watch this video at some other time of the year, but I thought it was important to talk about this today. This is kind of the in-between holiday, December 25th and January 1st. You often hear, if you're on the internet, engaging in mental health sites, this and this, how to prepare for the holidays, what to do during the holidays. Well, what about after the holiday? What about this in between time? And then starting kind of the new year, which can be hugely triggering for people. Milestones are triggering for people. It's sometimes it's you look back on different milestones, you think to yourself, oh my gosh, I was struggling this time last year and I'm still struggling. So what does that mean? Or you remember that you were struggling last year, you may have some grief or even a trauma response to that. Certain reminders of milestones can be difficult, but this time in particular, kind of that in between, can be really triggering for folks. And some of that is if you did spend time with family, whether that's or loved ones or whatever, you wanted your holiday to be a certain way, and maybe OCD did get in the way. Maybe OCD did show up. Maybe you were cognizant of it or hypervigilant of it, and you feel like even that took you away from it, and that can be sad, and that can be grieve worthy, and that can sometimes leave you with regrets. Here in the States, we've got Thanksgiving and then we've got Christmas on top of that, Hanukkah as well, other holidays that people might celebrate, where you just really look at them and go, I just want this to be what it should be, and I don't want OCD to show up. It might or it might not, or something triggering may have happened and it just threw you into a loop. And so I just wanted to kind of go through that today and also address kind of the blues of another year is starting. What is this year going to bring? Um, or this was a really tough year. I need next year not to be that way. Or this was a really good year and I'm so scared that next year is going to be bad. Things like that. All of the things that when you have anxiety can come up and potentially try to ruin for you. So a lot of times I meet with folks after the holidays and I hear all kinds of stories because families, big get-togethers, gatherings that have a lot of tradition, or it has a lot of this needs to be meaningful, or a lot of people in general that could be triggering and have been through your life, all are getting together and you are just trying to hold all the pieces together, going, please don't let anything bad happen. But a lot of these things are usually super triggering if you're dealing with intrusive thoughts, and especially if it's sexual or harm, right? It could revolve around family. So if you're having incest intrusive thoughts or harm intrusive thoughts, oh my gosh, family can be so triggering for that. And it's sad too, because you want to see these people, you love them, but at the same time being around them is terrifying because you don't want to have physical responses to them. You don't want to have urges. You don't want to have groinals. You don't want to have this physical stuff. And then you don't want people to know that you're having it. And then you feel guilty because you did, or you feel guilty because you didn't, but you were thinking about it the whole time and you feel like it's not authentic and nobody really knows the real you. You see where I'm going with this. So, this, or you may have had some sort of interaction during these big gatherings, or, gatherings with family, hey, you have a niece or a nephew and you want to get to know them and you want to be close to them. So you pick them up and you hug them. And now all of a sudden you are mentally reviewing how you picked that child up. What was it? Okay, why did I put my hand there? Did I move this child? Why did I put this child on my lap? Oh my gosh, did I get a groinal while I had the child on my lap? You may have been cooking with family, and here you are having to be mindful and cognizant of where the knives are. Did I poison people with something? Did I put something in their food? You're actively sitting here waiting. Is everybody going to be okay because I was involved in cooking? These are all the things that can come up after the holiday that you're now mentally reviewing, that you're now feeling sad about because OCD did show up and it did hyper focus on one or two things or the whole thing in general. And you walked away feeling sad. And you walked away feeling like, I just hate having this disorder because it ruins things for me. Or you may have avoided everything this year because you didn't want this stuff to happen. Or you may have avoided everything this year because it's hard being around family, or maybe your family's shitty, and then you're all, and, being by yourself or being the identified patient in a family, this kind of the scapegoat role of the family can be triggering for you. And it can make you deep dive into what is wrong with me. And having OCD doesn't help matters, right? I am the mentally ill person of the family. I do have this. I am horrible. Some of those narratives that can get driven home when there is a toxic family and you are the scapegoat of that family, the identified patient of that family. This time of year can be really hard for all of us. And a lot of it is, I just want to have a good time. I just want to have a meaningful time, feel present, and be able to reflect back and go, wow, that was great. I was able to be my best self. And sometimes we get robbed of that, whether it's the anticipation of it, whether it is something that happens during, or whether it's the mental review. And I think this is why OCD can be so tough, especially when things are so heightened and pointed at these different times of year of like, we need today to be good. We need this visit to be good. And then when OCD does hit, or we are hit with something and we're stuck ruminating or we're stuck mentally reviewing about something, we think to ourselves, it's never going to be better. It's never going to be different. We tend to stay stuck in that mindset. When OCD hits, we're in an anxiety state. It's going to be like this forever. This is just kind of the default that we live in when OCD and anxiety shows up, right? It's never going to be different. I'm so scared. It's always going to be this way. It's not. It's not always going to be this way. And I know it feels like it in the moment, but that's why we learn different tools to manage this so we can get through those moments and remember this is going to pass. And what are the tools that we need not to perpetuate that feeling from continuing? Because you do need time to calm down after you're triggered, to calm your body down, to calm your mind down, and both of them getting kind of cohesively getting back on the same page. Sometimes I call it like getting back online. Because when they go offline, both, they're going in different directions, and you need to make sure that you are calming everything down, giving yourself enough time to be able to move forward and know that things are going to be different. Now let's move on to New Year's. Um, the New Year is often very triggering for people. If you live somewhere where it's the dead of winter, it can be it can be tough because you're celebrating a new year. The new year is coming in, and then it's cold, it's dark, and sometimes it can just feel really lonely and it can feel really scary. But I'm also going to apply what I just said. The winter doesn't last forever. The winter moves on. Yeah, it can be tough for a few months, for some people, just a few weeks if it starts to get warm in February and March, but it does pass and warmer weather comes. And I think sometimes we get stuck in that, oh my gosh, it's going to be this way forever. That's just the OCD brain, right? But then we can also get fixated on kind of what I said before. This last year has been tough. I'm scared this year's gonna be tough again. I remember last year when the year turned the calendar turned over and I was anxious, and now I'm still anxious again. Does that mean I'm gonna be anxious always? Or this year was good, I'm so scared next year's gonna be bad, or OCD is gonna show back up. What if it does? I've been feeling better. So again, it's this mindset of, whatever's happening now is always going to be happening. And you can break out of that and go, right now is just what's happening right now. Tomorrow could be completely different, good or bad. We can't predict that. But that in itself is understanding that uncertainty, we don't have to like live in the uncertainty of everything of every moment, but we aren't necessarily certain about everything that's going to happen at all times. I just wanted to acknowledge to you that this time is really tough for a lot of people. And also this gap in between the holiday and the new year is really tough. It's very non-routine oriented. Some people aren't going back to work, or you are going back to work, but you know there's still a holiday around the corner. So it's kind of weird being productive when you know you're going to be off again, things like that. And then knowing once the calendar year turns over, it's all done. And it's sometimes it is this void of what's going to come next, or it's cold, it's quiet, it's dark, things like that. So just wanted to acknowledge that if you're feeling that way, I'm hearing this a lot from people. I also feel it. This is just not my best week of the year. So what I try to do is I try to pack it out with things that I really love to do despite the cold, despite it getting dark earlier. One of the things I love doing is going to do this incline down in this town of Castle Rock. And so it gets dark. I can't get there until later this evening. So I have a little headlamp. And so I do the little incline with the headlamp. It's just something that fills the day, gives me something to look forward to. Afterwards, I'm just going to go and grab some of my favorite food. Okay, I got through this day. It's going to be all right. And then I've kind of packed out the next week in that same fashion. So before I know it, it's over. But every day I have something little to look forward to, or I have little bitty goals to reach. Sometimes that's all we can do. As we're waiting for things to pass by that make us feel uncomfortable or make us feel not as whole or a little bit out of our normal routine. So this is a different kind of video, just a little bit more today of just giving you a little bit of support if this is a time of year that makes you feel a little off. You're not alone in that. A lot of people feel this way, but it will pass. Things just pass by and you're going to be okay. So just keep that in mind. Thank you for visiting my channel. I hope this was helpful for you. If you're looking for one-on-one peer support or referral consultations, I also run 8-week closed groups, and I have an online community if you want some extra support, especially around this time. Email me or visit my website at chrissyhodges.com for more information. And if you are looking for treatment through OCD, go to treatmyocd.com. I'm going to try to do a video before the end of the year. If not, I'll see you next year. Bye-bye.